Welcome, dear children, to yet another virtual class of English. Today we are going to do the poem Amanda, which is written by Robin Klein. About the poet, Robin Klein is an Australian children's writer. She was born in Kempsey, New South Wales in 1936. Before becoming a writer, she had several different jobs, such as working as a nurse at a bookstore and as a teaching aide at a school for the disadvantaged. Her writing often features young protagonists who rebel against their structured environment. Through the following poem, the poet Robin Klein describes how difficult it is for children to compromise their freedom and behave according to the societal norms, as this not only restrains them but also is responsible for making a child lose its identity, individuality. So let's see the first stanza. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders. Hunch means bend your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight. Slouching means sitting lazily. And sit up straight, Amanda. So the from the first line it is very clear that the instruction is being given to a girl for behaving in a proper way, yeah, in a particular way. The poet is describing Amanda, a little girl who is always pointed out by her mother for her mistakes. The poet says that the mother is pointing out Amanda for biting nails, which is a bad habit. Next, she asks her to sit straight without bending her shoulders. Amanda, who has habit of bending her shoulders and sitting lazily, is being pointed out because her mother wants her to sit in the right posture. The poet here focuses on the aspects related to the upbringing of a child, especially the girl child, and how parents go to any limit to bring proper sense to their child. See, it is the pressure on the girl child to behave in a proper way, in a particular way, so that she is accepted in the society. So here the poet focuses on that only. Amanda is thus getting trained for the society she is part of. The pressure of making oneself presentable to the society triumphs over every other behavior and manners. The last phrase, Amanda, is used with an exclamation mark, which shows the irritation and frustration of the parent. So the parents are frustrated because she doesn't listen to her parents. And why she doesn't listen to her parents? Because she is fed up of continuous nagging by her parents. Stanza 2. There is a languid means calm, relaxed, emerald sea. Emerald here is the green sea, where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. Blissfully means happily. So here you can see that the stanza is given in a parenthesis. Parenthesis means bracket, and it is given so because it is showing the imagination of the little girl. See, she is so frustrated by the continuous nagging of her mother that she starts living in her own imaginative world. She starts imagining the things. So it is to be noted that the above lines are given within brackets. Here the poet uses it to present the imagination of the little girl, the free flow of pure thoughts. Amanda uses her imagination as an escape point from day to day commands of her parents. So she is frustrated by the real world. So she goes into her imaginative worlds where she wants freedom, she wants to be free. She feels suffocated in the real world and thus finds peace in her very own created world where there are no restraints. She imagines herself to be a joyful mermaid sailing without any confines alongside soft waves of the green sea. Emerald Sea is the green sea. This world of Amanda is free and contained in itself, and her happiness doesn't require any other human being. For a child, mermaid is a symbol of freedom and wonder. So she loves to be in her own imaginative world where there is nobody to nag her, there is nobody to give her any kind of instructions or pinpoint her. She wants to live in her imaginative world in a very free manner. Let's see stanza 3. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. So, from the stanza, it is very clear that mother is very angry at Amanda because she has not done the work she has been assigned to. So, let's see the explanation. In this stanza, we again hear Amanda's mother speaking to her. She takes on an authoritative tone like before and asks Amanda whether she has completed the homework given to her by her teacher at school. Following this, she asks Amanda whether she has cleaned up her room or not. Finally, she tells Amanda that she had commanded Amanda to clean her shoes, but that Amanda has not done so yet. At this point, it is clear that Amanda's mother is both irritated and angry at Amanda because she has not completed any of the work which she has been assigned to. And why she has not done the work? Because Amanda is fed up of continuous nagging by her mother, and now she doesn't give any heed to what her mother says. Stanza 4. Again, you can see that stanza 4 is in parenthesis. That means again the girl is in her imaginative world. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. See, again the has started imagining. Now she is so fed up by the continuous nagging of her mother that now she started thinking that she is an orphan. Orphan means a child who has lost her parents. Hushed means very quiet and very still. Bare feet means naked feet, that she is not wearing any footwear in her feet. And the silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. So let's see the explanation. In this stanza, we once again see Amanda's reaction to her mother's harsh words. Amanda withdraws into another imaginary world. She imagines that she is an orphan and that she is romancing around on the street. She has no shoes on her feet at all, and instead she is getting them even dirtier by making designs on the dusty ground with them. That means she wants to be free. She wants to live. She loves her freedom and she wants her freedom. However, she makes no sound while making these dusty designs. She cherishes the silence as well as the freedom to do as she likes in that world of her imagination. Why silence is golden? Because continuously she can hear her mother instructing her, giving her instructions. So that's why, while doing all those things, she is not howling, shouting out of joy, but she is silent because, according to her, silence is golden because she have heard enough of her mother. That's why she is saying that silence is golden, and since she loves the freedom because she is being curtailed of this, so she says that freedom is sweet. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? So it is very clear that now the mother is pressurizing the child not to eat the chocolate. Why she is doing so? Because here she wants her to look beautiful, to look presentable in the society. So that means the external beauty matters a lot. External beauty overpowers the internal beauty. So let's see the explanation. The set of instruction provided here indicate how much essential it is for Amanda to understand the value of external beauty and steps to be taken to preserve it from a very tender age. Amanda is stopped by her parents from eating a chocolate as previously that had caused her acne. Acne means pimples. Here we see how a child is made conscious of a natural experience such as acne. However, Amanda is still lost in her own thoughts and doesn't care enough to look up to her scolding parents because she's so fed up of their scolding that she doesn't want to look up to them. She is not paying any heed to what they are saying. That's why she is lost in her own world and she's not looking at her parents. This carelessness further angers the parents and they ask for her attention when she is being scolded. The role of the appearance in the society is given more significance than the basic values and creativity, and this is very true as you can experience or you can see in the society we are living in, where the external beauty matters a lot. No matter how beautiful you are from inside, internally, no matter, but you should look beautiful. Stanza 6, again you can see that stanza 6 is given in a parenthesis. That means Amanda is in her imaginative world. I am Rapunzel, I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. Tranquil means peace, free from all disturbances. I will certainly never let down my bright hair. So I hope the girls are very well aware of the story of Rapunzel. It's a story of a girl which has a long golden hair and it had a magical power. So when the witch came to know about it, she took her and locked her in a tower. But whenever she has to go somewhere, she uses her golden hair since it was very long. So anyone who wants to come up to the tower, climb up to the tower, they uses her hair. So in this stanza, Amanda withdraws into her fantasy world for the last time in order to escape from her mother's nagging. She imagines herself to be Rapunzel. She imagines that she is perfectly happy to live alone in the tower, for she has nothing to worry about. She loves to be in the tower where nobody should come, nobody should be there. She loves to be all alone in her own world. Life over there is peaceful because nobody will come there, so life there will be peaceful, and she doesn't want anybody to interfere in her life. And not too many people know what that is like. In fact, she is so happy with her life that she will never let down her hair in an attempt to escape from the tower. Now she's saying ki, like Rapunzel, she is not going to let her hair down. She will never let her down so that anybody can climb up or she can go out of the tower. So she will be happy in her own world in that tower. Last stanza, stanza 7. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. See the irony in this stanza. It is the mother who keeps on nagging her and telling her, and because of her continuous nagging or because of her continuous instructions, Amanda has become sad. Now she is asking Amanda not to be sad because the others would think that she has been nagged. That means Amanda has been nagged by her. So let's see the explanation. In this stanza, Amanda's mother tells her to stop sulking. Sulking means sad. She also accuses her daughter of having mood swings. That means at one time she is happy and another time she is sad. So she's saying you are too moody, so stop being moody. Finally, she tells Amanda that anyone who saw her would think that her mother has been nagging at her. It is obvious that Amanda's mother feels it is her duty to correct her daughter and to teach her the proper way to behave, and she does not believe that this can be an exhausting or irritating experience for Amanda. See, if we see from mother's point of view, she is correct. It's the responsibility of the parents to teach the children good etiquettes and the way to behave in the society, fine. But pinpointing for everything, for every action, is wrong. It's not that the child is every time the child is wrong. Being responsible for or being responsible doesn't mean that we should curtail the freedom of the children. We should let them free. We should not lose the individual. We should try not to lose the individuality of a child. Let the child be what he or she is. But yes, it is the responsibility of the parents to teach them the right things in life. Then only they can succeed, and then only they will be able to make the difference between right and wrong. Let's see the message conveyed by this poem. This poem conveys the message that children need to be allowed more freedom. Though it is parents who are responsible for proper upbringing of their child, but that should not make a child feel trapped. Nowhere a child should feel that his or her freedom is being curtailed and he is being trapped. So the parents should, to a certain extent, they should tell them what is right, what is wrong, the proper way to behave, the etiquettes, everything, but it should not be in excess, because excessive nagging may make them defiant, and hence they may develop a type of dislike for real life. Then what will happen? They will develop a kind of dislike for the real world, and they will start escaping into the world of dreams and imagination. So as a parents, we should stop doing that. Now, my dear children, this time I'm not going to give you the poetic or the literary devices. You are going to do it on your own. By now, I think you will be able to find out the poetic devices in the poem. And please mark those poetic devices in the textbook only. No need to write in the notebook. Then, one more thing, it's my request to all of you. Please, you people are also in a lockdown since March. So all of you, I would like all of you to write a short paragraph telling your experience with reference to the poem Amanda. I would like to know how is your lockdown period going on? Are you also facing the same thing? What are your views on this? So please, a short para, and it's my request that in a maximum number, please send it on my WhatsApp number. Last time when I gave you an activity to do on and in what it would be if you will be, what will you do if you will become invisible? Hardly the children they send me the paragraph, and I really appreciate the ones those who have sent. So this time I expect more. Please do write and send me on my personal WhatsApp number. Till then, have a good day. Take care. Stay home. Bye bye.